episode number 10 of Warning Track Power, the podcast. And today's episode is going to be devoted entirely to the World Baseball Classic here in 2026. It is happening. I know a lot of people thought that it might not happen, but we nonetheless have got our rosters all set in stone for the 2026 World Baseball Classic. I'm just going to go over, highlight the rosters for every single team. Um, we'll go over the pool, and I'll make predictions, and we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a really good time today on Warning Track Power, episode number 10. Let's go. So, as I said, we will be going by the alphabetical order. So we will be starting with Australia. And Team Australia is going to be in Pool C. They will be in Pool C. And their roster is an interesting one. So they have Kyron Hall, Kai Hampton, Josh Hendrickson, Connor McDonald, Joe Kennedy, Sam Holland, Cooper Morgan, Mitch Nwinborn, Jack O'Loughlin, Todd Van Steensel, Cohen Wayne, Lachlan Wells, Blake Townsend, Warwick, Saupold, and Alex Wells in their pitching staff. Obviously, I don't know a lot about any of these guys. However, it is once again the Australia pitching staff, and no big leaguers here for Alex Wells, who was an Oriole at one point. You go down catchers, you got Mitchell Edwards, Alex Hall, who has been in the past World Baseball Classic. Same thing with Robbie Perkins. Those are the three catchers that are going to be on this team. The infielders, number one overall pick in the 2024, I believe 2024 MLB draft, Travis Bazzana. They also have Robbie Glendenning, Curtis Mead, Major Leaguer Logan Wade, Jared Dale, George Khalil, Rickson Wingrove on the infield. The outfield, Ulrich Bojasarki, Tim Kennelly, you remember him from the last World Baseball Classic, Aaron Whitefield, Chris Burke, Max Durrington, and their coaching staff, Dave Nilsson is the manager. And really, that's just about it. Jim Bennett, the pitching coach for Team Australia. They will be playing in Pool C. So that is Australia. Our next team up is going to be Team Brazil. And they, on their pitching staff, really nobody too like that jumps out of you. You got Gabriel Barbarossa, Joseph Contreras, Tygo da Silva, Pedro da Costa Lemos, Hugo Kanabushi, Mario Gorvea, Thomas Lopez, Daniel Misake, who was born in Japan and yet he's playing for Brazil, but oh well. Oscar Nakaoshi, Enzo Sawayama, also born in Japan and playing for Brazil. Thiago Vieira, he's a major leaguer. He's got the hat on, but we'll move down to catchers, and once again, Gabriel Gomes, Enzo Hayashida, Matthias Silva, Gabriel Carmo, Dante Bichette Jr. in the infield, Victor Ito, Felipe Coragi, Leonardo Reginato, Taigo Nishiyama, Felipe Mizukoshi, and Lucas Rojo. The outfield, Lucas Ramirez, Osvaldo Carvalho. Geez, these names, I'm going to butcher a lot of these. Gabriel Maciel and Victor Mascai. is going to round it out for Team Brazil. I will like to point out that Jan Gomes is the catching coach for this team. So you can kind of make what you want of that, but Brazil will be in Pool B. Moving on to Team Canada. Here, this is an interesting team as they are obviously missing out on some people, but Logan Allen, Micah Ashman, Felipe Almont, Indigo Diaz, Eric Sarantola, Jordan Blazovic, Antonio Jean, Carter Leowen, Adam Mako, Noah Skiro, Cal Quantrill, the guy. So, what a guy there. James Paxton, the Big Maple, Mike Soroka, Jamison Tyone, Matt Willickson, Rob. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that last name. This is a better pitching staff than we saw last time out of Team Canada. Their catchers, Liam Hicks of the Marlins and Bo Naylor of the Guardians. Infielders, Tyler Black, Matt Davidson, Adam Hall, Josh Naylor, Otto Lopez, Edward Julian, and Abraham Toro. Their outfield, Owen Casey, Denzel Clark, Tyler O'Neill, Jared Young, Jacob Robson. And as a part of the coaching staff, Justin Morneau is the hitting coach, and Paul Quantrill is the pitching coach. So there you go. That's Team Canada. They are going to be in Pool A, as this team looks a little better than it has in the past. However, they still are missing some pieces. Chinese Taipei. This team was a fun one to watch last year. Yi Chang, Quan Yu Chen, Po Yu Chen, Hao Chun Chen, Ryo Yang-gu Lin, Joe Hisi Husu. I really am struggling to pronounce these names. Chil Wei Hu, Kai Wei Lin, Shi His Sang Lin, Wei En Lin, Yu Min Lin, Tsu Chen Sha, Young Yu Shen, Yi Lei Sun, Jun Wei Zhang. That is the pitching staff. Oh boy. Lai Lin catching, same thing with Kung Khan Gilligalau and Xiao Hung Jian. Infielders, Yu Chang, you went crazy last time. Sheng Shei Chen, Kun Yu Chiang, Jonathan Long, Tsu Wei Lin, Hao Yu Li, and Nian Ting Wu. Their outfielders, Stuart Fairchild is gonna be there for some reason. Chen Hyson Chen and Chen Wei Chen in the outfield alongside An Kolin. And that is going to be wraps for Chinese Taipei. They will be playing in Pool C alongside Australia, so that is going to be one probably to watch. They will be the team. They will be in Tokyo. That is where their Pool C matchups are taking place. Team Colombia. Here we go. Team Colombia. This pitching staff is interesting. I mean, they have Julio Theron, Jose Quintana, Emerson Martinez, Joan Romero, Luis Patino, Pedro Garcia, Austin Bergner, Dennis Correa. This is a decent pitching staff, but it's really nothing to get too excited about. Catchers, Jorge Alfaro, Elias Diaz. So, yep, 2024 All-Star Game MVP. Boom. That Elias D. Wait, was it 24 or 23? Oh, I don't remember. Whatever, he was an All-Star Game MVP, so yeah. Carlos Martinez, Michael Arroyo, Jordan Diaz, Diane Fries, Gio Urshela, Donovan Solano, Reynold Rodriguez make up the infield. The outfield, Harold Ramirez, Gustavo Campanero, Jesus Mariaga, and Brian Buevelas. And that's Team Colombia. Team Colombia gonna be in Pool A alongside Canada. This is gonna be an interesting team. Cuba. This is gonna be, once again, most of the players I would think are gonna be born in Cuba. I'm gonna assume Frank Alvarez, Emmanuel Chapman, Josmir Cousin, Danny Larondo, Daviel Hutando, Nikel Cruz, Johan Lopez, Raidel Martinez, Randy Martinez, Julio Robena, Darian Nunez, Yariel Rodriguez, Luis Romero, Pedro Santos. That is the pitching staff. The catchers, you got Omar Hernandez and Andres Perez. Infielders, oh my gosh, Arisbel Arubarena. Okay. Yohan Moncada, Alexander Vargas, Yidi Cape, Alexi Ramirez, Malcolm Nunez, and Yoel Yanqui. Outfielders, Alfredo Despagen, Leonel Mosas Jr., Roel Santos, Ariel Martinez. And that is going to do it for Team Cuba, this WBC. They will also be playing in Pool A. The Czech Republic. I mean, do we have to go through these guys? I mean, oh boy. Pitchers, Jeff Bartow, Philip Kapka, Thomas Duffek, Philip Coleman, Lucas Hlach, Lucas Ercoli, Michael Kovala, Marek Minarek. You guys remember him from last tournament, surely. Jan Novak, Andrej Satoria, Boris Vekaraka, Martin Schneider, and Daniel Padiasak. That's literally his name. Please don't. Yeah. Marius Bubenik, Martin Cervenka, and Martin Zelenka are the catchers. The infielders, Martin Cervenka, Ryan Johnson, Voltej Menchik, you remember him, Martin Mujic, you remember him, Jean Postville, Milan Prop, and Terran Valvra. The outfielders, Marek Chulp, William Escalara, Marek Krejiksirik, not even going to try, Michael Sindaleka, and Max Prejda. Team Czech Republic is going to be in Pool C. Once again, we got our first powerhouse with the Dominican Republic here. And they got Albert Abreu, Sandy Alcantara, Elvis Alvarado, Saranthony Dominguez, Huascar Brazaban, Brian Bayo of my Boston Red Sox, please don't get hurt, Camilo Doval, Carlos Estevez, Wandy Peralta, Gregory Soto, Abner Uribe, Edwin Uceta, Luis Severino, Dennis Santana, and Christopher Sanchez. This catching depth is not very good, though. It's Agustin Ramirez and Austin Wells, so it's all right, but it's not the best. Infield and outfield is very strong for this Dominican Republic team. Junior Caminero, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Manny Machado, Jeremy Pena, Geraldo Perdomo, Ketel Marte, Ahmed Rosario, Carlos Santana. Must I say more? That is a star-studded infield. Same thing with the outfield. Fernando Tatis Jr., Julio Rodriguez, Juan Soto. And the backups, O'Neal Cruz, Johan Rojas. Albert Pujols is managing this team. How could they not win with Albert Pujols managing them? Well, I'll tell you how they can't win a little later. But we're moving on to Great Britain, who they got Tristan Beck. And really after that, this is a unbelievably unknown pitching staff. Actually, Brandon Beck, Jack Anderson, Donovan Benoit, Chavez Fernandez, Gary Gill Hill, Ryan Long, Graham Sparker, Nick Wells, Tyler Vizza. The catchers, they got Will Creswell and Harry Ford. Infielders, Jazz Chisholm Jr., Nate Eaton, Lucius Fox, B.J. Murray, Ian Lewis Jr., Ivan Johnson, and Nick Ward. Outfielders Trace Thompson, if you remember this guy from the last WBC, don't sleep on him. Justin Wiley, Matt Kopernik, and Christian Robinson is going to do it for Team Great Britain. They will be in Pool B as well. Moving on to Team Israel. This team also has just a few major league players. They do have Tommy Canley, Max Lazar, Eli Morgan, Dean Kramer, Matt Bauman, Jack Weiss, Robert Stock. Their catchers CJ and Garrett Stubbs. Infielders Cole Craig, Jake Geloff, Spencer Horwitz, Benjamin Rosengard, Matt Mervis, and Noah Mendlinger. Outfielders Harrison Bader, Troy Johnston, Zach Levinson, RJ Schreck, and Asaf Loengart. And the bench coach is Kevin Youkilis. So, good to see you back at the game of baseball. That's good to see. Team Italy. Samuel Aldigari, Dan Altavia, Dylan DeLucia, Gordon Graceffo, Matt Festa, Alessandro Ercolani, Alex Jacob, Joe LaSorsa, Michael Lorenzen, Aaron Nola, Greg Weissert, Kyle Nichols, Ron Marinchao, and Adam Ottavino. The catchers, Kyle Teal. Infielders, John Birdie, Zach DeZenzo, Miles Masterboni, Giaconio Lasarcina, Thomas Sajaci, Vinny Pasquantino, Andrew Fisher. The outfield, Jack Caglione, Jacob Marcy, Dominic Canzone. And that is Team Italy right there. We're all excited for this team to go tackle Pool B, even though it has Mexico and USA in it. They'll be fine. It's time for Samurai Japan, the reigning champion Japan. Their pitching staff, Dachi Ishii, Hiromi Ito, Yusei Kikuchi, Yuki Matsumoto, Yuki Matsui, Koki Kitayama, Hiroya Miyagi, Taisei Ota, Ruihei Sotani, Hiroto Takahashi, Kaima Taira, Tomoyuki Sugano, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the reigning World Series MVP. The catchers, Yuhei Nakamura, and that is it. The infielders, Sosuke Henda, Shugo Maki, Kazuma Okamoto, Munetaka Murakami, Taisei Makihara, and Teruyuki Sato. The outfielders, Kensuke Kondo, Shota Morishita, Ukyo Shuto, Masataka Yoshida, and Seiya Suzuki. So no Lars Nootbaar this year. I'm disappointed. Designated hitter, Shohei Ohtani. Because they didn't want to put him in the actual thing for some reason. Yeah, this team Japan, if this team does not win Pool C over Australia, Chinese Taipei, Czech Republic, and Korea, then we have a serious, serious problem. Speaking of Korea, we are moving on to Korea. They got Dane Dunning, Woo Suk-go, great name, Woo Ju-jung, Young Pyo Ko, Byung Hye Jun, Bin Guak, Riley O'Brien, Hyun Jin Ryu, Yun Hun Park, Sung Ki Sung, Tai In Won. Their catchers, Jae-hoon Choi and Dong-won Park. Their infielders, Hae-sung Kim, Ju-woo Kim, Min Jae-shin, Si Hwan-ro, Shea Whitcomb. The outfielders, Jung-hoo Lee, Hae-min Park, Ja-woo Koo, Hyun Bin Moon, Jahmai Jones. and that is Team Korea. We're moving on to Mexico, where we got Javier Assad, Brennan Bernardino, Jesus Cruz, Alex Carrillo, Taj Bradley, Daniel Duarte, Robert Garcia, Gerardo Reyes, Taiwan, the Phillies don't like you, Walker, Victor Vodnik, and Jose Urquidy, as well as Andres Munoz. How could I forget about him? Their catcher, Alejandro Kirk. Infielders, Jonathan Aranda, Joey Ortiz, Jared Serna, Ramon Arias, Luis Arias, Rowdy Tellez, Joey Meneses, and Nick Gonzalez. This outfield looks pretty good with Alec Thomas, Jarren Duran, and Randy Rosarena. They also have Alejandro Osuna. And that is going to do it for Team Mexico. As we move further down to Team Netherlands. Once again, another team that is not going to have a lot of big league talent on it, I don't think. But they do have Kenley Jansen, Wendell Floranus, Jaden Estania, Lars Huju. I just need to stop trying with these names sometime. They have Chadwick Tromp and Hedren Clementina. Their infield, Ozzy Albies, Xander Bogaerts, Didi Gregorius, Charlon Shoop, and Jeremy Profar. Outfielders, Jurickson Profar, Sedan Rafaela, Drew Jones, Ray Patrick Ditter, and Dason Crows. And Andrew Jones is managing this team. Wonderful. That's the Netherlands. Moving on to Nicaragua. And wow, this team is kind of bare bones. There is no big league talent on this team at all other than Mark Vientos. And Dusty Baker Jr. is managing this team, but literally Mark Vientos is the only big league talent on this team. Jeter Downs, I don't count him as big league talent, but he's there too. Duque Hebert, he's there. Ronald Medrano, Erasmo Ramirez, Carlos Rodriguez. Yeah, I also got Melvin Nova catching for them. This team is not very good. This team's not very good. I'm sorry to say it, but this team is not very good. Team Panama, they got Logan Allen, Alberto Baldonado, Paulo Espino, James Gonzalez, Miguel Gomez, Jamie Barria, Jorge Garcia, Kenny Hernandez, Arian Rodriguez. They have 4 catchers for some reason. Ivan Herrera, Miguel Amaya, Leonardo Bernal, and Christian Bethencourt. Their infield, Leo Jimenez, Edmundo Sosa, Ruben Tejada, Johan Camargo, Jose Caballero, and Jonathan Arauz. Their outfield, Enrique Bradfield Jr., Alan Cordoba, Jose Ramos, and Johnny Santos, rounds out Team Panama. And we don't have a lot of teams to go, only 3 more. And we'll start it off with Puerto Rico, and this team got cooked. This team probably could have been a lot better, but they got cooked. I mean, they have Fernando Cruz, Jose De Leon, Rico Garcia, Giovanni Moran, Jorge Lopez, Edwin Diaz is on this team. Seth Lugo is on this team. Ricardo Velez is on this team. Angel Reyes. Their catching is Christian Vasquez and Martin Maldonado. Talk about old and washed up catchers. Their infielders, Nolan Arenado is playing for Team Puerto Rico. Emmanuel Rivera, Luis Vasquez, Edwin Arroyo, and Daryl Hernandez. Outfield, Willie Castro, Carlos Cortez, Matthew Lugo, Eddie Rosario, Heliot Ramos, MJ Melendez, and Brian Torres. And in case that wasn't enough, Team Puerto Rico is managed by Yadier Molina himself. So, 2 teams to go. And the next one, Team USA, the team that everybody wants to win as long as you're not from any other country other than USA. Anyway, this team is hot. This team's got major league talent all over the place. This pitching staff, David Bednar, Matthew Boyd, Claire Clevenger, Brad Keller, Griffin Jacks, Clay Holmes, Clayton Kershaw. Instead of retiring, he's going to play one last time for Team USA and then call it quits. Griffin Jacks, Clay Holmes, Nolan McLean, Mason Miller, Tarek Skubal, Paul Skeens, Joe Ryan, Gabe Spear, Michael Wacha, Logan Webb, and Garrett Whitlock. Oh boy. This catching core, Will Smith and Cal Raleigh. The infield is Alex Bregman, Ernie Clement, Paul Goldschmidt, Bryce Terang, Gunnar Henderson, Bryce Harper, and Bobby Witt Jr. The outfield, Aaron Judge, Corbin Carroll, Pete Crow Armstrong, Byron Buxton, Kyle Schwarber's DHing, Michael Young is the bench coach, Brian McCann, the assistant coach, Andy Pettit is the pitching coach, Mark DeRosa, the manager. Whew, this team is going to cause some issues. And finally, we will end it off with Team Venezuela. Jose Alvarado, Edward Bizardo, Jose Buto, Yoandres Gomez, Carlos Guzman, Emmanuel De Jesus, Pablo Lopez, Andres Machado, Cater Montero, Daniel Palencia, Ranger Suarez, please don't get hurt, I will be very upset, Eduardo Rodriguez, Herman Marquez, Antonio Senzatella, the worst pitcher in Major League Baseball last year, Angel Zerpa, and Ricardo Sanchez. I am very sorry, Antonio Senzatella, but that you pitch for the Rockies and you are one of the worst pitchers in the league, if not the worst, because you pitch for the Rockies. Anyways, next, my dad called me a Rockies hater, but let's face it, isn't everybody? They're terrible. William Contreras and Salvador Perez, two catchers on Team Venezuela. That's good. Wilson Contreras is going to be in the infield. Luis Arraez, Michael Garcia, Gleyber Torres, Eugenio Suarez, Andres Jimenez, Ezequiel Tovar. This is a great infield, to be honest. The outfield, Willie Abreu, Ronald Acuna Jr., Jackson Chorio, and Javier Sanoja. Once again, this is another good team right here. Johan Santana is the pitching coach. Miguel Cabrera is the hitting coach. Robinson Chirinos is the bench coach. And yeah, Douglas Odor is the third base coach. So do with that what you would like. But that is all of the teams in the World Baseball Classic by roster. In Pool A, Team Canada, Team Colombia, Team Cuba, Team Panama, and Team Puerto Rico. Of that, I think Puerto Rico is going to finish first, and then Team Canada, and then Team Colombia, then Team Cuba, then Team Panama. I think. Pool B in Houston, Brazil, Great Britain, Italy, Mexico, USA. USA is winning this division. Then I'm going to go Mexico second, Italy third, Great Britain fourth, and Brazil last. Pool C in Tokyo, Australia, Chinese Taipei, Czech Republic, Japan, and Korea. Japan's winning this one. They just are. I think Chinese Taipei comes in second, Korea comes in third, but it's very close. Australia in fourth, and Czech Republic last. Pool D in Miami, the Dominican Republic, Israel, Netherlands, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. I think the Dominican Republic's going to come away with this one. Venezuela's going to get second. The Netherlands are going to get third. And then I think Nicaragua versus Israel is kind of a toss-up, but I think I'm going to go with Israel over Nicaragua. I'm not really sure why. Now, if we look ahead, March 4th, we start our first pool play game, and we continue pool play until the March 13th, where the quarterfinals will start. On the 13th, they will run the 14th, 15th for the semifinals. 16th semifinals, and March 17th, a Tuesday, is the World Baseball Classic final. It will be at 8 o'clock Eastern on Fox in Lone Depot Park. That is the schedule for the World Baseball Classic, taking place in San Juan, Houston, Tokyo, and Miami. And, well, that's my thoughts. I think the overall champion this year, I think it is unfortunately once again going to be a Japan USA championship game. I hope that USA is the team that comes out on top. However, Team Japan is just so good. I think that team has the possibility to run it back, but once again, when you look at all the major league talent on this USA roster, I think you have to pick them as the team that is going to win this whole tournament. I mean, they struggled last time in the pitching department. They went out and they got more pitching, and I think that is all that this team needs to go and win this tournament. And I think they're gonna do that against Japan. I think we got a redemption arc. But obviously, if it's not USA or Japan, then it kind of got, you would think it's like the DR or someone like that. But I will keep updates on the World Baseball Classic as we go, because here on Warning Track Power, we are just a few feet short of the fences, but all in on the game. See you next time.